really want to talk about is lessons learned, because we've got a lot of them and things that maybe we could have seen coming, things that we might have done a little bit different, things that you guys might, if you start your own business or go down that path, things that hopefully you won't make the same mistakes that I've made. And had I listened to people ahead of me, I probably wouldn't have made some of these as well. The business idea, or the business is, it's a gym, not revolutionary, but many years ago, I started doing CrossFit when I was in the military, right? Started getting into it, and then I got injured very badly in 2008. Spent my time at Walter Reed, spent about 1.5 years there doing physical therapy. I had my hip replaced, had a leg that didn't work for about 6 months, and had my intestines basically coming out of my stomach. Somehow, miraculously, I recovered very well from that, and I used CrossFit to augment a lot of my physical therapy. So I would go to the Mat C during the day and do my physical therapy, and then I would basically, for the whole year of therapy, I would go to the gym, I would ride my bike, mountain biking, go snowboarding. I would do every physical activity I could to get better. And I saw that doing CrossFit or the functional fitness outside really helped me accelerate my physical therapy. And so when I got out of the military and I moved to Arlington, I wanted to help out. I wanted to go back to Walter Reed and kind of help the guys. So I started going up there and just basically pulling guys out of the Mat C and taking them across the street to the gym, and we would do a CrossFit workout at the gym now. And that was just, completely on my own. I had a buddy that would go with me, and then we got the idea to build a CrossFit gym at Walter Reed. So I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with it, but several years ago there was a gym at the new Walter Reed called CrossFit Walter Reed, and I owned that, and we coached it for 4 or 5 years, and then there was like a lull in guys coming from overseas because we withdrew from Iraq, and we were retrograding in Afghanistan, so there weren't that many wounded guys coming through, so we had not a lot of demand for a while. So we ended up shutting it down, and then all of a sudden ramped back up. And we haven't started it again yet, but it's something that we want to continue. So that's where my history in gym management and physical training came into play. So fast forward the last 8 years or so, I've been medically retired from the Army, and just kind of training on my own. I was working out at a CrossFit gym in Arlington called Potomac CrossFit, and it was purchased last year. I was also coaching there, but it was purchased by an entrepreneur, and he immediately shut down the gym because it was losing money. They were paying $30,000 a month for their lease, and they were generating about $24,000 of revenue. So it was being augmented by another gym that was very successful, so they were able to keep both of them open, but it wasn't a very good business decision to keep that one open, so of course he shut it down. The business it's called the Conditioning Room, all right? It's a functional fitness gym. We're not affiliated with CrossFit. However, if you are a CrossFitter, you will feel quite comfortable there. We'll have classes that are strength and conditioning. The primary class is our strong class. It's a 7-week strength and conditioning cycle. It's with barbells and pretty heavy weights, along with some conditioning classes at the end. So my business partner is a former Olympic bobsledder. He used this program to develop explosive strength while he was in training for the Olympics, and we're going to basically turn that into our model, right? So we're focusing on strength, power, speed, and endurance, right? And so it's a gym, all right? Let's not fancy it up too much. It's a gym, but so what I want to talk about is how that came about. Lessons learned. Don't have a full-time job, start a second job, do an MBA, and have a baby all in the same 6 months. So, yeah. But yes, I have a full-time job that is fortunate. One of the great things about my day job, I'm a wholesale insurance broker, is it allows me the flexibility. One, I make enough money that I can do other things with, and two, I have job flexibility that I can kind of make my own hours. So if I need to be at the gym for an hour, I can just make that up later in the day. So that's what allows me to do this. We have three partners, myself and Mike, and then his wife, who is the third partner. So each one of us are one third partner, although that makes me sort of the minority partner since those two are married. But technically we're all one third partners. Chief financial officer, right? So I basically take care of most of the finances for the company, as well as I look at software integrations that we're going to use. Right now I'm doing almost all of the contractor management, which is the biggest headache that you would ever have to do. So sales, Brittany is the primary member engagement, and she'll also be one of the head trainers once we open up, but she had a baby a week before my wife had a baby, so that threw a little wrench into things too. Okay, so initially we thought we were going to be open in 3 months, right? We had the space already, so as soon as the thing closed down, we were like, we're gonna do this. Fortunately, Mike trains somebody who is at a high level for a large property management firm in Arlington, JBG Smith, and we had the space right away, and it was dirt cheap. So we knew we could make the numbers work. The only problem with that is our lease terms are less than favorable. So ideally, you would have like a 5-year lease. We have a 4-year lease. Technically, it's a 2-year lease that could be canceled after 2 years. But we know that there are no plans to redevelop this building. It's an old building right in the middle of Arlington, right next to a metro stop. And so fantastic location, very cheap rates, but we are kind of gambling with the fact that they could potentially close it on us and redevelop, knock down the building. But I think we'll make some money before that happens. So we were supposed to open in 3 months, right? It's now been about 8 months, and we have not yet opened, but we are very close. And there are several reasons why we have time delays. One of them is it just takes longer to get things done than you expect, right? Bobby worked in construction. Did you ever have overrun on time?
Never. Most of my life.
Yeah. So it just takes longer to build things than you expect, right? It takes longer to negotiate contracts than you expect. It takes longer to do the demolition than you expect. It takes longer for Home Depot to deliver your plywood than you expect. Hopefully that's happening right now. It takes longer for you to secure financing than you would expect. That's been a big one for us. And it just, sometimes people just don't show up to do the job that you expect them to do. The biggest difference, I think, in the real world, aside from the military, is in the military, at least where I was, if I gave somebody a task, I expected them to go out and complete that task and report back to me that it's done, right? Outside of the military, it's not necessarily like that. People do not understand. A lot of people are not as self-motivated. Maybe they haven't been trained. Maybe you haven't trained them well enough on what your expectations are, but you can't necessarily just say, go do this, and not give them specific direction of how to do that, when to do it, and where to do it. So overall, we expected the build out of the gym to cost, and that's including everything from demolition to reinstalling all of the equipment that we needed, doing HVAC, doing plumbing, electrical, website design, bathrooms, all that stuff. Expected about $120,000, or I'm sorry, $220,000. Okay, that was my initial estimate, and we were like, that seems really high. We could do that a lot cheaper. So we cut it back. We cut it back to $160,000. We each put in $20,000 of our own money, and then we got a loan for $100,000. So
Who gave you a loan?
Sona Bank gave us a loan.
Really?
Yes, and we actually got that connection through 100 Entrepreneurs, along with shout out Mike, right? Mike, Bob's son is a lawyer, and if you are ever going through any of his partnership stuff, he's great, and he's there. He's been great, and he helped me out with the negotiations with the partnership agreement and reviewing all of that stuff and helping us set up the business. So really great resources within 100 Entrepreneurs.
And the real number you're looking at is going to be how much?
So the real number that we're looking at is going to be $220,000. So I had to go back.
It could have been 320.
Yeah, so I had to go back to Sona Bank and ask for another loan, which I was just on the phone with them here, on the way here, trying to secure that. And what I should have done, we went out and we got a bunch of bids, and we got a referral from a friend for a demolition guy. He was going to come in and demo everything for about $15,000, and when that guy was in there tearing up the place, he said, "Oh, I got this plumber, I got this electrician, I can hook you up with all these guys." And we're like, "Okay, Tony, go ahead and let's get these guys in here." So rather than having a general contractor manage the whole thing and use all of his contractors, we tried to piecemeal it with our own contractors, and that was a big mistake. Multiple times we had contractors, one show up to give us a bid and then never give us a bid, take the bid and then do a couple days of work and then leave, and after they got their like 1/3 deposit basically. And then other times we just have contractor problems, which if we had one general contractor that was all his people, he could deal with that himself, and the liability would be on him and not on us. We have an amazing following. We have so my business partner already had a very good name in the gym and in the community as a personal trainer. So we've got a great following already. We haven't even opened the doors yet, and we have 30 members signed up. So we've covered our least, but we still have to bring in a few more members. But we haven't even really started advertising yet. We haven't put signage on the doors yet. We haven't opened it up and let people walk in. And so I have no doubt that we're going to be at 60, 70 members by the day that we open, and that we only need 80 members to break even, basically. So I'm not worried about paying for everything. It's just we need to get open.